y'all, I'm Emily, the Shady Grove Stitcher, and I love creating beautiful hand-stitched pieces. Welcome to the Pink Room, where I share my love of cross-stitch by showcasing projects I've completed in my quest to fill an antique cabinet my husband and I inherited from my in-laws.
Hi, I'm Emily, I'm the Shady Grove Stitcher. I'd say welcome to the Pink Room, but we're not in the Pink Room. Typically, I film from the Pink Room, which is my craft area, and I share with you all of my stitchy goodness. Today, we're not in there because of this guy. This is Newton. He is new to our house in the last 2 weeks. We are fostering him for a local rescue, and I just don't feel very comfortable with him running around the house on his own. I tried to get him to stay in the Pink Room with me, and he wasn't having it. I think I have shot this intro no less than 87 times, and so I thought, you know what? If you were happy out here on this blanket, then I will just bring my floss tubing things, sit in front of the window in the living room, film in there. So that's what we're doing. Today's episode is episode 12. And I'm gonna show you a couple of things today. I have a finished object, a whip, 2 whips actually, and then a fully finished object. So kind of a lot of things to cover. Not many life updates this time, mainly because Newton is the life update. It's all we've been doing. If you didn't see my last episode or you don't follow me on Instagram, the short story is he was dumped at a local rescue, and he was very angry, so nobody could touch him because he kept biting everybody all the time. It took 2 weeks until he was kind of coming out of his shell a little bit and would let people handle him. And they were concerned with him hurting us, basically. My mother made the hilarious comment, it's a 12-pound dog, not a mountain lion. However, he's really matted, and they sent a groomer who is great with spicy dogs, as she calls them. And it was so bad my husband left the room. He was like, I can't watch this, this is awful. So he definitely has a bit of a streak in him, but he's been doing really great. Most of our focus over the past 2 weeks has been trying to keep him and Henry not separated, but respectful of each other's space. And then obviously just making sure that Henry still feels love and not like he's being replaced. At this point, we're not sure if Newton's going to be staying. I know a lot of you have commented on Instagram and sent me messages and been like, oh, I see a foster fail. We never started fostering with the intention of fostering on a regular basis. We just inquired about him, and they said, would you be open to fostering? And we were like, sure. And kind of started down this path without really knowing what we were getting into. I have a whole new respect for fosters. I'd encourage anybody to do it. I'm happy to talk to anybody about it sometime. I don't want this to become a floss tube about dogs, although I absolutely could make it one. I'm sitting in front of a window, and Henry's on the other side of this glass looking in at me like, Mom, what are you doing? Oh, nothing, Henry. Oh, nothing. Would you like to say hi to Flosstube? Do you want to come say hi to them? Say hi. Say hi, guys. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. The first, you want to take a seat? What are you doing? All right. Okay. Please don't put your snot on my work. Please don't put your snot on my work. Oh my God. Not for you. Sit right there. Okay. The first thing I'm going to show you today is Faded Flag. It's by October House Fiber Arts. We saw this last time. The glare is relatively atrocious. I'm so sorry. He just rested his whole chin on my finished piece. Your whole chin. And this is the finished piece. I did nothing. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. I did nothing. I thought Newton was going to be the problem. Apparently it's Henry. Hello. I did nothing that's called for. This is on a piece of 28 count linen. I just had it in my stash, and I used DMC for all of it. When I talked to you last, I said I didn't like it. Now that it's done, I think it's really cute. I would also definitely do it again. So my plan is to do it again in fancy floss, but this is awesome for right now. I will fully finish this once I get a chance to get some blue fabric for the back, but it came out, here, let me hold it closer. it came out cute. I'm really super happy with it. It was a fun pattern. It was a quick stitch. I did it with my friend Christy, K. Hines Designs on Instagram. She is half of the happiest stitches on earth on YouTube. So we really had a blast. I was doing this to sort of get me out of a stitching funk. I was having trouble. I was just having trouble. I had been stitching every day and sort of fell off the bandwagon. And so that was for me to get. I said, when you're sewing, when you're a quilter, they call it sojo. And I was like, I don't know what the equivalent is when you're stitching. And somebody said, oh, I think we should call it stitch itch. And I was like, yeah, I like that. That's awesome. So it helped me get my stitch itch back for sure. All right, the other thing I was gonna show you is, hold on, let me think. What's the name of that? Hobby House Press. I am doing a stitch along for Dasher and Dancer from Hobby House Press. It's a one color design. I'm stitching it with my friend Carrie of Red Velvet Quilts. And we've broken this up into a month by month sal. May, the month of May was just oh my gosh, sorry for that. Just May was this center tree. And I think if it wasn't all done, I was just missing a little bit down here in the stand, but it's all finished now. I am stitching this on 40 count melting moments from Fox and Rabbit, and I am using Lily Pad from Weeks Dye Works as my floss. And I'm obsessed with it. I could do one color all the time now. Not green all the time, but I could do one color all the time. You can see I've got these needle minders here. I'm actually using needle minders to hold my cloth in place. I've tried using those like bungee cord things or whatever that like wrap around. And I haven't had as much luck with those, but I have these and it holds all my fabric great. The other thing I will say is this is a needle minder, from Primrose Cottage. I love their needle minders. They're very their magnets are super strong. I love a strong magnet. So my friend Holly gave me this and it's excellent. But if you're looking for a small needle minder with a very strong magnet, you might consider Sew Tights. So this is Sew Tights. Sew Tights are used for English paper piecing, if you're not familiar. When you are English paper piecing, you typically have, let me put this down, what am I doing? You have small pieces that you are stitching together. And if you use something like, what are those little clips called? Wonder clips, your thread can get kind of tangled up on it and it gets frustrating. So Sew Tights, it's a company name. Sew Tights are these little magnets that you can put on either side of your work. That way when you're stitching, your thread doesn't get caught up. Well, I bought some for English paper piecing and I just have them. I keep them in my needle book. A couple of needles, a couple of Sew Tights, a couple of Wonder Clips, just that way I've got some with me. Anyway, so these are some larger ones. This is a collaboration between Sew Tights and Tula Pink. It says TP and you. I think it should say TP and me, but whatever. But I like it because it's hot pink and I don't lose it. They also make some smaller ones and I have found that they are very handy. A, for holding my needles and B, for holding my work together. So if you need a little hack or strong magnets, needle minders to hold your fabric and Sew Tights are amazing. So that's Dasher and Dancer May. We are moving into June. So I'm gonna hold this up for you. This calendar, well, when I hold the iPad, the calendar, we're gonna be doing this purple part here. Nope, we're gonna be this yellow part here and here in June. So, we've said it before, we'll say it again. If you're interested in stitching this, start in anytime. We have a lot of people who have already finished or who have foraged ahead. It's kind of like crack. Like once you get started, you just can't stop. Not that I've ever done crack, I'm just saying. I can't think of another thing. It's just euphemisms, whatever. Anyway, the yellow part's what we're going to be doing. A lot of people just charged ahead because they had a great time. I can see how that would happen. But June, we're moving on to June because today is June 1st. So, like I said, Dasher and Dancer, Hobby House Press. They have a paper pattern. My experience with Hobby House is that they are slow to ship. So I went with the PDF. They have a PDF for that. We'd love for you to join us if that floats your boat. My other whip, I guess I could show it to you, that would be polite of me, right? Is by Brenda Gervais. So Brenda Gervais also is known as With Thy Needle and Thread. I'm sure you know this. And she did Winterberries and Pine, which I just think is darling. I'm doing it on my iPad. I had several of you send me a message and say, where did you get the PDF for Winterberries and Pine? There's not a PDF for it. I just scanned in my paper copy and I'm using it that way. I'm sorry if I misled you guys and thought there's a PDF. There's not. I just got a paper copy. The paper copy. Words today are just really difficult. The paper copy is hard to come by. You can find it on the Facebook D-Stash group if that's your jam. I ended up getting a copy for me and a copy for Carrie from Shepherd's Bush, so you might try that. But if Shepherd's Bush doesn't have it, I don't know. Brenda's holding on to it. But here's my progress on Winterberries and Pine. So I am stitching this on 36 count Park City Lights from Count on Linens. It is a very pale pink. It does not look like it in this window light, so you're just gonna have to trust me. But I've made a ton of progress. I told Carrie there's so much fill-in on this little snowman head that I was saving some of the leaves and backstitching to break up the white, and then I couldn't stop myself and I did all the leaves. I still have the smoke over the chimney to finish up. And I have, I think, 2 peppermint things. There's this little peppermint guy. I've got 2 more peppermints to add, and then just white for days. I don't feel like the pattern is very clear, but apparently Brenda added beads for some, there are some confetti stitches and she used beads for those. She actually first did the stitch and then added the bead and said she probably didn't need to do the initial stitch. I was thinking about maybe finding some very tiny snowflake shaped beads, charms, whatever instead. So I don't know how I'm gonna do that. But so far, great progress. It's been a fun little stitch. I will say I'm about over Christmas. Like there's been a lot of Christmas up in here this year. And every time I turn around, I'm like, oh, I wanna do that. Looky, it's Christmas. You guys have been really great about saying that I don't have to edit, and I appreciate that. However, I just filmed a whole thing for Winter Moon. I told you it was Winterberries and Pine every single time. So let's try it again from the top. This is Winter Moon from Plum Street Samplers. I'm sure you have seen it. This is not new. It was released, I believe, I think it was a retreat piece. It took a while for it to come out. And then when it did, I jumped right on it. I bought the kit. I think it was from Farm Girl Dry Goods. So everything I show you is gonna be as kitted, as intended, as charted. I do want you to pay close attention. I know I'm holding it at an angle and I'm sorry about that, but I'm trying to keep the glare off of it. Mine does not look like this. So in mine, you will not see the trees in the background, you will not see the bunny, you will not see the holly up there on the corner, and you will not see the fence at the bottom. And I just kind of want to call those things out so that it's not a surprise. Okay, now, this is my take on Winter Moon. Oh, the glare is terrible. Here, I figured out earlier I can hold it. Let me just move the whole camera. I'll just move the whole thing to the no glare zone, to the less glare zone. Oh my gosh, earlier I figured out there was less glare. Okay. It's super awkward to hold it way over here, but I think you get less glare over here. Okay, so why this is so far away from you. It's laughably far away from you. Gosh, guys, hold on. There, that's a little better, maybe. I don't Yeah, okay, we got it. 78th time's a charm. So like I said, in mine you will not see the giant bunny on the roof. I read an interview that Paulette did with, I think, Cross Stitch magazine, where there are shoes on you didn't even tell me there are shoes on the table. Okay, let's just take a minute to talk about shoes on the table, okay? When Rosie cleans, she will eat your shoes. She will get tripped up on your shoes. So we set them on this table. This is my husband's side table, and it's huge. So it's not like he puts his food there. We're not gross people. He just puts it, he only wears them in the house. They're like his house shoes, kind of. Anyway, I didn't know they were up there, and now I'm embarrassed that there are shoes on the table. Oh my. Okay, back to where we were. Winter Moon. So this interview with Plum Street, she was saying that she really enjoys playing with scale because it adds kind of like a whimsy element to things, and I don't disagree with her. Something I struggle with where samplers are concerned, and I understand that this is not a sampler, but I'm just telling you where my dilemma stems from, samplers. And I can't stand how things are often just like floating around. It drives me nuts. So the trees in the background, I think, were smaller to kind of show perspective, like, oh, hey, there's a forest back here. I'm just too literal. It did not work for my little brain. So I took the bunny off the roof because the bunny would never be that big and it would never be on the roof. I also took out the clump of holly because holly does not float in the sky. And I took out the trees in the background because I wasn't into the floaty trees, but I did add these two light colored trees here to show a little bit of depth and help fill in some of that space, okay? Then everything else is normal. Everything else goes like the pattern says. But then down at the bottom, I did not add the fence. There was nothing wrong with the fence. When thinking about how to fill the frame, I could either add more fence, not more fence, there's no fence. I could either add fence or I could add more snow, and I just liked the idea of more snow. So I left off the fence, like I said. This was really fun to stitch. I was very nervous about all the bricks because there are lots of brick colors. And so what I ended up doing was I broke the house down into sort of two parts. Everything between the roof and this black line and everything from the black line down. And I first stitched all of the mortar for the bricks to sort of like give me a framework within which I could work. And then I would take a particular color of floss and I would stitch all of the bricks that were that color. And that way I wasn't changing floss constantly, right? I could just do all the bricks in one and then switch to a different color. And that made it also made it feel like it went faster. I don't know if it actually did or not. But anyway, the roof, I didn't think was, I just realized I was tipping it. You were getting some glare. Sorry, I'm also trying to hug the camera. This is not normal. The roof felt like the black was gonna live on forever. It was great fill-in work for nighttime when I was watching TV, but wasn't a blast to do because mascara is just not my favorite floss, which is what's used up there. The only thing, if I were gonna do it differently, I'm super pleased with how it came out. I know that will be controversial because I kind of changed a lot, but it works for me and it works for our house, and I am pleased. So, we always say there's no cross stitch police. So I just tried to make it my own. The only thing I might change though is down here at the bottom. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but there is a very faint, inside of this blue down here, there are some really small white snowflakes and you almost can't see them. I probably would have chosen a blue that gave me just a tad more contrast than that. I realize I'm getting closer to the phone and I'm trying not to yell, so sorry. So anyway, that's Winter Moon. And that's all I have. This is probably going to be one of my shortest Flosstube episodes. If I'm not blathering on to you ad nauseum about things going on in my life or how I finished something, then I don't really have anything to talk to you about. I haven't been doing a whole lot of stitching the past couple of weeks. Like I said, Cousin Newton. I am gonna try to, so my goal today actually is to finish up the other stuff up here so that I can just do fill in on Winterberries and Pine. This will sort of be my evening stitching because now I don't have to think about it. I can just do and not count when I'm sitting on the couch. But I'm very eager to get back to Dasher and Dancer. I miss it. I try really hard to get my assignment done at the beginning of the month. And that way when I get to the end of the month, I used to always do my homework before I could go play, and that's a little bit how it feels. So I'm looking, I do it at the beginning of the month and then I take kind of a break from it. And so I'm always eager to come back to it, which is nice. I was looking to see if there was something else on my calendar is really what's happening here, to see what I had up to stitch next. And I got distracted, full disclosure, by what we're going to talk about next time, which is Star Spangled Street by Primrose Cottage. It is fully finished and I freaking love it. If you hate it, I just need you to keep it to yourself when you see it, because I'm really super pleased with how it turned out. I wish I felt as happy about the fully finished version of Star Spangled Street as I do other things. Like, I feel really happy with how Winter Moon came out. Part of me is still like, should I have put it in a custom frame? Like, I can't figure out when you're supposed to custom frame something and when you're not. And I know it's stitcher's discretion, but I can't decide when something is like worthy of a custom frame. Like, I will not custom frame Winterberries and Pine. It's cute. I don't know that I think it's cute enough to custom frame. Custom framing is like next level commitment, I guess, in my book. Like, I will custom frame Dasher and Dancer because it was a huge investment in time and I know I'm gonna have it for a long period of time. So I really want to do that. Anyway, on pieces that I'm not custom framing, sometimes I don't really know what to do with them. So the fully finished version of Star Spangled Street came out. I think it's really cute. I'm pleased, so I'm excited to show it to you. So I will. Other things that are going on, I'm just kind of looking through the things I was going to do this year, the plan that I abandoned. Christmas bells is still in the works, and I need to get those flowers added. I need to add the flowers and the bells, and then it's done. So I should probably stop fiddle farting around and get that done. I thought I might do If You Live to Be 100 by Lizzie Kate. I don't know that I'm going to do that now. I've got Stars and Stripes by Plum Street, Seasons of the Heart by Brenda Gervais, Snowbirds. Snowbirds is Christmas, so that's probably not going to happen. American Welcome. I do want to do American Welcome. I also want to do Spring Swan, An Ode to Libraries. That Bobbin Animal Cracker, he's so cute. And I've got a couple others. So what am I saying? I think I'm done with Christmas. When Winterberries and Pine is finished, Dasher and Dancer will go through the end of the year, and I think the Christmas stitching is closed. I think I've had my fill of it. I'm eager to get to some patriotic stuff. But don't really have a plan. So I'm just sort of like sharing aloud, not because it's a plan, just because I'm sharing aloud. That's all I've got. I hope that you guys are having it is summer. I don't know when the official start of summer is, but it's over 90 degrees pretty regularly now in Texas. So I consider that summer. So I hope you're having a great summer. I hope you're getting in lots of stitching. I have seen so many cute summer stitched pieces, and the finishing, I get so many good finishing ideas from you guys. I still haven't quite figured out how to execute all of them, but you are very inspirational. I appreciate you leaving me comments, uploading. I can't remember if I told you this I think last time was my first Friday upload. I can't remember. Uploading on the weekend works out way better because I can interact with you guys on the weekend and I'm not trying to do it in the middle of my workday, because really what ends up happening is I want to stop work and play with you, which my boss would not appreciate. So doing it on the weekend was great. That's why I wanted to get this done this weekend. I don't want to let too much time go by, even though I don't have that much to share right now. I say that much to share. I had 4 things to share. I feel like I usually talk to you longer and I just don't have a lot to say today. So, you can't see him now. I'm so sorry, because he's asleep, but I'm not about to get him up. Newton has been great. I think, so the way that it works is he has to have 1 round of shots, and then 4 weeks later, he has to have another round. So he will be here at least 2 more weeks till he can get those extra shots. And then he's got to be neutered. So, and after he's neutered, he stays 10 days. So we're at least 3, probably 4 weeks out of even discussing if he's going to be placed for adoption or if he will live here permanently. I will say that he and my husband are officially in a relationship. They are inseparable. Newton thinks my husband has hung the moon, and every day when my husband gets home, he's like, "It's my guy." He gets so pumped. It's really funny. So I know if Newton does end up going to another home, I know it'll be sad for us because we, my husband and I, have enjoyed it. I'm not sure that Henry's loving Newton. But I also will say that I have been really proud of him because I taught him a lot of things when he moved in. He's 65 pounds and sorry for the ice machine. I have no tolerance for him sitting in people's laps or pulling me down the street. And so I taught him a lot of stuff, which I call manus instead of manners. I say that I installed manus in him. So I installed a lot of manus in Henry, and he has really stepped up to the plate, and I have been so proud of him for listening and for obeying. And you know, when you ask him to do something and you don't need him to do it, you're like, you don't feel like it, that's fine. But I have really needed him to pay attention, and he has done it, so I've been really proud. But he just doesn't love Newton. And I don't want to make his life miserable, so that's what we're trying to figure out is, can they coexist long term? I don't know. So Henry's going to be kind of our decider, and we'll go from there. So more to come on the Newton front, more to come on the stitching front. Hopefully the next time you see me, Winterberries and Pine will be finished. I don't want to jinx myself, but I hope that'll be finished. I hope I'll have progress to show you on Dasher and Dancer. It would be super duper ultra amazing if I finish this flag pillow. I would like to have it out and on display for July, but I also need to get to the store. That just isn't happening right now. So we'll see. I hope you have a great summer, first part of your summer. I hope you're getting lots of stitching in. I appreciate you spending time with me and being patient without my notes in the living room with the dog door and the ice maker and whatever. Have a great Sunday. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye.